Sometimes I don't think I was worth being saved. Hi, my name is Mary Shepard, and I'm here to share my story. I was born in Panama City, Florida, on Tyndall Air Force Base, and me and my family, we moved around a lot, and we ended up in South Carolina for 10 years, and then we moved here to Florida, or Milton, Florida, in 2002, and this is pretty much where I've stayed for the last 20 years. I didn't really grow up in church. I homeschooled. We had a Christian-based curriculum, but I never really paid much attention to it. Really, I believed there was a God, but I just didn't know how good he was until recently, when I worked for a cleaning company, and I was at Pea Ridge Elementary School doing my job, and the principal came to me asking me if I wanted to help out a mobile church to open up the building and, just help them out. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not, another church. She's like, well, let me introduce you to the pastor, John Till. And he came in holding baby Canyon. I remember that day. And we just hit it off. When I walked in, it's like, I got tattoos, and I'm like, am I gonna be judged because I got tattoos? Am I gonna be judged because I didn't grow up in church? But then once I got into it, into looking at everybody and just seeing how different everybody was, it was like, wait a minute, this person's got his whole arm covered in tattoos, or this person's got long hair, or this other person's got colored hair. It was like a no judgment zone. At first, I came every service. I sat in, listened, but I always sat in the back, kind of shy. Didn't really get into it. People get up and they're starting to jump around and lift their hands and during worship. And yeah, the music was good. I love the music. And it's like, okay, I stood there as a stiff. I can't lie about that. But it's like, okay, I'm getting into it, a couple weeks into it. I started swaying, and then it's like, well, I'll start, lifting my hands up, worshiping. But then once I started talking to people and just, I'd start moving up. Next thing I know, I was sitting up in the second row. Very first service at Voyage Church. I had just lost my sister. My sister just passed away in 2020. And I don't really remember the sermon because it's, been a while. But when the sermon was over, I kind of found an empty room to myself. And I just sat down and I started crying. And right then, it's like the Lord was there comforting me because I was very close to my sister. And he was there for me. I could feel him, like he was giving me a hug, telling me everything was going to be okay. God will always be there to comfort you. And I found that. I found that out just as soon as I stepped foot in church. There is nothing like being in the room. So, back in May of 2023, I was moved by my company from Pea Ridge Elementary School to Avalon Middle School. I didn't want to quit going to church, so I would, I know I didn't participate in the setup or nothing like that after I got moved, but I always showed up every Sunday for the service. And one day I was at my work, Avalon Middle School, and I ran into Pastor John and Pastor Shauna. And I'm like, okay, I'm in a hurry because I'm on the clock, so I'm like, okay, hi, how's it going? Moved on. And then at the last Sunday service at Pea Ridge Elementary, they announced that they were moving to Avalon, and I'm like, all right, cool, that's my school. But then I found out that I was moving to another school. I guess I didn't really feel comfortable at Pea Ridge, but when we got to Avalon, or when Voyage Church got to Avalon, it's like, man, we got this whole setup, and it was like, I love it. I love the songs, I love the worship, I love to dance, and watching the younger generation up there just having a good time and worshiping the Lord. That just made me get into it more. One day, everybody was just running late and the truck needed to be unloaded at Avalon Middle School, and it's like, I'm just walking back and forth, and I'm like, something just hit me. It's like, what would it be like if I joined, the Voyagers, just, see what it's like, watch the babies. And so I'm like, I'll get up with Whitney. And she hooked me up same day. And ever since then, I love participating more than being a spectator. Serving in Voyagers is amazing. And not only am I doing it for God, but the last conversation I had with my sister is that she told me that I would make a great mom one day. I wanted to try my luck with babies, see how it would go, and I can't get enough of them. And I love serving God. I hope my sister is proud of me and looking down on me and seeing that I would make a great mother one day. God is good any way you look at it. Being involved with Voyage Church not only has it helped me, but it has also evolved some of my relationships with friends and family. God has impacted me to be a better person. Me and my recent supervisor, I didn't get along with him for a whole year. I just pretty much fought him. And I found out recently that he had cirrhosis of the liver. Well, that just right there knew that I just did him wrong. I judged, and I shouldn't have judged. And what really, I guess I got closer to him recently, and this was a test of my faith also, that back in December, he was hospitalized and nobody knew what was wrong with him. And it was on a Sunday. We were in church whenever I got the message from his wife. And all I could do was just pray. I prayed and I prayed that God, just send your healing power to him, that he will come back. Because not only that I mistreated him, I learned that he is also a family man and a man of God. Not only now is he my supervisor, he's also my friend. And the power of God and God's healing power saved his life. And now we're close. And that was honestly a test of my faith, like I said. It was crazy. I didn't, I've always heard, I'll keep you in my thoughts and prayers, and I didn't know prayer, like, okay, prayers. I didn't think they would work. But when I started praying and then I would get updates on him, I knew right then and there God was working. God has been great to me ever since. He really, really helped me a lot. And sometimes I wonder, why. Sometimes I don't think I was worth being saved, but he came through. He really did. Following Jesus has changed how I look at the future. There's things that I've been expecting, and there's things that I never knew was going to happen until I started following Jesus. You gotta believe. You can't give up. When I do get where I feel down, or I feel worthless, or I feel like there's no hope, God has always been there. God has been my comforter. And he can do the same for you. But you just got to talk to him, and he will be there for you no matter what. There is nothing like the voyage following Jesus. If God can do it for me, then God can do it for you. So why not right now?
Jesus has brought me so many amazing, faithful friends and mentors in my life.
God picked us up and he turned us around. And now we're standing on a rock with him.
He sealed our heart, he didn't break.
I was deeply engaged with divination and witchcraft before I met Jesus.
I used to believe the lies that everybody told me.
Jesus has reminded me that he is the bread of life and that he is satisfying.
Jesus is my purpose.
At 17, I got diagnosed with cancer, and my whole life changed. But through that, Jesus showed me that I was on a voyage, even when I thought I was at the end.
I was seeking worth and attention through the world, and then I realized that Jesus is really the only one who is worthy of everything, and I found my worth in him.
A year ago, I tried to take my life in a car accident, and Jesus saved my life quite literally.
No matter what your age is, God's got a purpose for your life. You'll find it here.
Over the course of the last year of being on this voyage, I can't imagine any conversation not including Jesus.
Jesus turned my life around in a big way.
Jesus gave me some new friends this year. I asked Jesus to live in my heart this year. I asked Jesus to live in my heart this year.
This is my 1-year anniversary on the voyage of following Jesus, and he's changed my life forever.
He's taken my lukewarm, complacent faith and just set it on fire.
Jesus helps me do things that are very hard for me.
Jesus has given me hope, peace, and joy in the midst of my loss.
He's given me someone to trust with every decision I make and every thought I have.
He definitely calmed my mind. I had a lot of condemnation and fear.
Provided for me when I wasn't sure how I could provide for myself.
If he did it for me.
If he can do it for me.
If he can do it for me.
If he did it for me.
If he did it for me.
And if he did it for us.
He can do it for you.
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 Why not right now?